Hi everyone, welcome back to Gillian at Mystic Healing Therapist. So you're perfectly safe. I'm not going to sing today, my singing resulted in a lot of rain and flooding, but I believe these weather events are the final clear out of the areas they need to clear underground. I'm being careful what I say because we're on YouTube. So yes, that's my take on the weather events and the flooding in the UK. Anyway, how are you all doing? I'm going to just start by saying, if you like my videos, please do like, share and subscribe, comment, because it really helps people to find me. Now, we've got a closed road because of the flooding. That's why there's lots of cars going past here today, so apologise for the background noise. Right, okay, so today's video, it's going to be about equanimity and soul contracts. So if equanimity means being able to sort of stay in a position of poise even when experiencing diversity, and it works both ways, you know, you're very calm and centered. That's what I mean by equanimity. So I'm going to share a story with you that isn't necessarily that easy to hear, but I just think it's important because I know there's a lot of you going through similar. So, you know, I get up on these videos, I've got a smile on my face, I'm choosing the highest timeline, and I'm manifesting my life, I'm stepping into my power to create the life I want. Now, sometimes people think, a friend actually said to me, "Oh, Gillian, you're really lucky, you never get any problems." And I thought, well, that's your take on it, but, you know, it's just how we deal with stuff that would make people perceive whether we have problems or not. So I'm sharing this with you because I'm sure many of you are in this situation or similar. So I take the stance of equanimity, you know, I remain poised, I look for the highest timeline, I regularly check in with my higher self, which helps me to cope with things like this. So I've actually got two very close family members and a good friend all going through chemo at the moment for stage 4 cancer, and they've all taken at least 4 of these. Like I say, I'm being careful what I say. Now, my family members, they have specifically explained to me that they don't want any mention of anything spiritual. It makes them feel worse. So with that regard, I can't sort of help them in any way because they absolutely have stated they don't want any of that healing nonsense because it makes them feel worse. So, you know, with free will people, I absolutely respect their boundaries, and that is for them their path, their way forward. Now, when they took the products a couple of years ago, I did actually, before they took the products, try to, you know, give them evidence and suggest they didn't, but obviously it's their sovereign soul choice and they took the products. So when they did, I kind of went through this process, if you like, a grieving process, because I could foresee what would happen in future. And unfortunately, I've been right, you know. We all want to be wrong in these situations, but, you know, I was right, and these are the consequences. So I've really spent the last couple or 3 years coming to terms with the fact that further down the line these things would happen. I'm sure, like I say, it's happened to many of you here. So for the last 3 years, if you like, I've been preparing myself for these kind of events mentally and spiritually. So what I've done in a spiritual way is just consider it, and what it keeps coming back to is that it is the soul plan, the soul choice of all these people, and it is their sovereign right with free will beings on this planet. They've made the choice to experience what they are now going through because of their soul contract. So it was in their soul contract to dismiss, and not just be indifferent, but actually dismiss any kind of healing or any mention of it. It was their soul contract to experience this and go through this. And what I've seen is these family members are going to all be together again in a different 3D realm state to continue with their 3D evolution. So you know, that is where they are heading, and this is what I've had to kind of come to terms with regard to, you know, the situation that they're in at the moment. So, you know, it's not that I'm not experiencing the emotion and all of that comes with this, but how I'm dealing with it is the emotion comes up, I acknowledge it, I see it for what it is, and then I let the emotion run through me, I let it go, and I return to the idea that it's soul contracts, they've chosen this, it's their sovereign right, I respect the boundaries, and then I come to a place of centeredness. So that's really how I'm dealing with it. And like I say, with regard to I'm not able to offer any assistance or anything to any of them, they've specifically stated that. So I absolutely respect their free will and choice. So I've stayed well away from that, to the point where I've not even told them about my book, because if they're getting upset and triggered about spiritual stuff, the last thing I want is to start upsetting people and upsetting the apple cart, really. You know, sometimes we have to just let it be, don't we? So I'm not putting this out here for sympathy. I'm really not. So please don't, you know, don't feel that that is the reason I'm putting this out there. I'm putting this out there to demonstrate that, you know, it is possible to find equanimity, equilibrium, even in times of adversity. We don't have to dwell in it, we don't have to take the 3D drama route, we can rise above that and find our sense of peace and poise. And this is going to be really important in the future. You know, I've just sat and kind of tuned in this morning, and in terms of world events, you must be fed up of sitting hearing people like myself saying, you know, the war's won, it's a done deal. And you're probably thinking, well, I'm sick of hearing that. What we've been meaning in some regards is on the higher dimensions, it's won, it's done. And this has had to play out in the lower levels, i.e. this level, the third dimension. Now, last week when I tuned in, I got the idea that there was still about 6% of the nefarious activities still in place. But this morning when I've tuned in, I'm just getting the feeling that even on the third dimension, it's a done deal, you know. So I'm expecting this to start to be obvious in the, you know, in the 3D paradigm. So finding that place of equanimity, finding that place of poise is very important for all of us in these current times. So I'm sharing this just so that, you know, you can see that it is possible to take this place of poise, and I am encouraging you all to let go of any 3D drama you might have in your life, and always return to that point of center. Always return to your higher self. If you're struggling with something, sit quietly, sit in nature and look for the wisdom from your higher self, because like my message, you have got that great resource within you, your higher self. So yeah, remember, soul contracts, it's very difficult to watch loved ones experiencing what they are going through, but it is a soul contract, and it is possible to find the equanimity if you just allow the emotion to come, pass through it, and then focus on where you want. And I'm focusing on this new golden era, this new fairer world, the new paradigm. I'm just really looking forward to it, so that's where I'm putting my attention. Okay, sending you all a lot of love. Bye for now. Please like, share, subscribe. You can find me on gillianengland.com. You can find me on Telegram. Bye for now.